All right. I'm back. Finally. I missed a day, but come one, come all. Come see Jojo, the dog-faced boy. He neither eats nor sleeps, nor crawls nor creeps. He's 15 inches across the eyes and smells like a wolf. He's Jojo, the dog-faced boy. What's up, guys? Hey, I need another coffee. Can you, do without me for a second? Hold on. I got another cup in the process. Come on in. Stop scrolling. And stop. Just stop right here. Give me a chance. Get yourself back in where you're supposed to be. And let's chat. Let me tell some stories. Or let me hear your stories. Tell me about a incident where you called 911 or someone else did, or you heard about somebody else's 911 experience. Let me hear it. Can you do that? I'm still here. I'm just over at the coffee machine. Who's there? Anybody got eyeballs on me? Yep, I see one. Girl in the mirror. That's my guess. That's the most popular first person in. Now I'm out in the garage getting distilled water so the coffee machine doesn't build up with what? Minerals. Get plugged up. Well, I see one set of eyeballs in the background. Who is it? Anybody? Who is, wait, I see it now. Nope, nobody's there. Come on, reveal yourself. Who's going to be the first thumbs up, the first like? Anybody? Anybody take responsibility? How about Muhammad? The young scholar, the young Muslim scholar. Muhammad, are you there? You're like filling up my chat. Come on back to the live stream there, young man. Oh, I got 2 eyeballs. I'm here. I'm over making coffee. Come on in the room. I see 2 sets of eyeballs. Come on, guys. Come back. Who's there? Okay. I got the first pour from the coffee machine. Now I'm doing the second. Are you there? Are you there? Anybody? I've got to pour another reservoir of water here so I don't run out for future cups of coffee. Can you hear that? Okay, there we go. Reservoir's full. Second pour is done. I got a cup of coffee. I got to put the creamer, the honey, the Splenda. Wait, nobody's up. 6 people. I'm here. Really, my voice is here. I'm over at the coffee machine. Come on in, guys. Leave a comment. Come on, fill up the room. Don't be shy. Drink chai, get high, don't be shy. Wait. Drink chai, get high, don't be shy. That was the morning greeting when I was in Kathmandu back in 1986. The street vendors, the rug sellers would, one guy in particular selling rugs would greet me in the morning as soon as he saw me come downstairs. Welcome to Kathmandu. Drink chai, get high, don't be shy. I'm serious, that's how he would greet me every morning. Well, for the first 3 days that I was in Kathmandu, and then I finally got the heck out of there and got on the trail, which was my that was my purpose of going to Kathmandu, was to go trekking. And I only had 2 weeks, and I already burned the first 3 days of my stay in the city of Kathmandu, trying to get oriented. Okay, I'm coming back now. So I needed to get look, girl in the mirror's there. SPAAA Crumbly David. What's up, SPAA? What's SPAA? Is that a dog organization for dogs? SPAAA? Or I don't know. Girl in the mirror. ¿Cómo está? Oh, to answer your question, muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? SPAA, help me out. What is SPAAA? The Crumbly David. What is your profile picture? I can't quite. I'm like turning my head. Huh? What is that? 9 people. Come on in, guys. You can see me now. See, I'm real. I'm a real person. What's up? 8 people. What do you want to hear? I've got stories in my memory somewhere. Ask a question. Stimulate my memory. Bring me to a place. Oh, that is horrible. I forgot to put a Splenda, or did I? Wait. Why is that like really unsweetened tasting? Oh, well, I put a Splenda in there. What happened? It didn't bring out the flavor. Well, I gotta put another one, I guess. Or is it my imagination that I put one in there? And the package was just a remnant of the last time. I don't know. That was pretty harsh there. Oh, that's better, but wow, that's sweet. Big time. Well, let me doctor this up a bit. Let me pour in a little bit more water. I'm guessing. What did I do wrong here? Okay, there's some more water. It's pouring. And that's all she wrote. I'm pretty much topped out with water. And, gosh, I just put the top back on and it exploded. Burnt my hand. Something. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, let's head on back to the... Oh, who's that? Game Parker! Doc, what's up? What's up, Parker? Oh yeah, Parker from the UK. No, Why do I always forget? Game Parker. No, that's not who I thought it was. I'm thinking of James SAS from the UK. Well, I'm stuttering. I was saying at the beginning that I forgot really to go live on Wednesday night. So here it is, Friday night. Aileen! Aileen! Magandang umaga. Maayong buntag. Maayong aga. Awesome. Let's see, Aileen. Let me remember. Aileen, you're in not Taguig, but the one right next to it. Let's see here. I'm gonna calm the music down a bit. Oh, I forgot the fade in and fade out. Josh! Josh, bro. What's up, brother? Brother veteran. Sorry about not being on Wednesday night. Yeah. Right. But wait, Aileen. Aileen, are you the one? I'm gonna go through this every time. You're in uh, the city right next to Taguig, or you're the one in Siargao, Surigao. Did I get it right, Aileen? Forgive me. Parker, are you still there? Oh, Birmingham. I learned I'm live in Birmingham. Birmingham. Birmingham, Georgia. Josh, what's new? Well, I had an experience, continued. Um, what's the word? Um, Chat with the Muslim Mohammed, whatever his full YouTube name is. I learned that he was a young 20-year-old or just turned 20-year-old kid, young man. I'll give him that respect. Multiple days, actually 2 days in a row of dialogue. That's the word I'm looking for. About the Islamic religion versus the Christian truth of God. Are you really? You're just relaxing on the court porch, waiting for your dogs to go wild, right? Now, music sounds loud. I turned it down. There we go. You know, I wish I was there with you, and we could both do a tandem coyote shoot. That would be pretty awesome. I've seen plenty of videos of the guys doing the same thing, waiting for their eyeballs to reflect in their scope and using an air rifle, but you're using a AR. Yeah, what kind of um, are you using a light or a infrared or what are you doing? What are you using? What's your setup? Maybe you told me already, but I forgot. Birmingham, Alabama. Correct, Parker? Sorry, I said Georgia. Birmingham, Alabama. Aileen, are you there, dear? Hello? Aileen? I see 5, 6. Come here, guys. Stop. Stop swiping. Just just stop. Yeah, absolutely. Flanking is my specialty. Come by, have your pick of any armory. That's right, you got quite the arsenal. Yeah, I would love to. You're in Georgia. You're the one in Georgia, right, Josh? You're from where? Florida, but you're living in Georgia and you're loving it? No, you're from PA, but you went down to Florida and now you're residing in Georgia, correct? Oh, Wisconsin. Wait, who's the one that's from PA, moved down to or did some work in Florida, but is residing in Georgia? Who was that? But you're in Wisconsin, right? You got the open space up in Wisconsin. Okay, okay. I'm confusing two people. By the way, this coffee is much better. I either that was either the Splenda package from my last cup. That's probably what it was because I've got two cups here. I'm double fisting it here. I got two cups, two coffee cups going. That must have been the packet from this cup. So I dumped a teaspoon of honey like I normally do, but I must have forgot the Splenda package. Yeah, it's like a 12-hour drive. Actually, you said you're up in the northern. Frank, Alpha, the zombies won't show up on IR. You're listening. Awesome. I got 9 sets of eyeballs. I'm seeing 9. Come on in, guys. I only see like 4 people chatting right now. Girl in the mirror. Oh, SPAAA. Um, he never responded after his first initial. I'm already there. And yeah, I only got myself, girl, David, Josh, Aileen, that's 5, Parker, that's 6, and Frank, 7. Doc San Diego. Gosh, you remember. Frank, help me out again. Where are you? Are you also, you're in California, up in Anaheim, right? Oh, Orange County? That's right. I think that's Frank, right? Yeah, you make your own ammo. I remember you sharing with me. Used to be. Okay. And where are you now? Now in the South. South what? California? Well, remember, LA is considered Southern California. So, wait. When you say in the South, like in where? Tennessee, Georgia, wait, um, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Florida. I'm covering all the Louisiana. I shared with you before I chased a woman down to, yeah, I shared that, down to Louisiana. Sean, I'm sorry to hear that, Sean, but each to their own. Whoa, dude, you've got a, oh my gosh, are you in Albania? Brother, Sean, Seti, stay right here. Or that's Yugoslav, Seti. Is that Albanian or Yugoslavian? Yugoslavish, Slavish, Seti, Mississippi. Stop guessing, you squid. MISSISSIPPI. What has four eyes but cannot see? Mississippi. Sean, I look your Albanian flag. I did 7 months with Albanian OFW, overseas foreign worker in Iraq. Oh, word around town, you're a Democrat? Yeah, it's obvious, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a Democrat. Four eyes and can't see, that is. You have four eyes and can't see. Well, I've got four eyes on right now. I got contacts in, so. What animals 7,000? Wait, what's that? Absolutely, Trump Nation. Wait, what is that a question, Parker? What animals 7,000? What? I don't get it. Use punctuation. It helps a lot. Question mark? Oh, 7,000 eyes. Wow, spider? That's an insect. I guess you call it an animal. Jokes? Yeah, I've got some riddles for you guys. Oh, a fly. Well, I was close. I was thinking of a spider, with all his eyeball. I know a guy. Need a boat? I know a guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my gulai. By the way, gulai is vegetable in Tagalog, but OMG, oh my gulai is I what's the word? I took that one because it's a much easier and appropriate thing to expression to say. Oh my gulai. So I'm literally saying, oh my vegetable, but OMG. Talk about where in the Bible did God talk about baseball? Let me think. Don't tell me yet. Where in the Bible did God talk about baseball? Um, I don't know. Genesis 1:1. In the big inning. Oh my! I just said that too in my head. I went right to Genesis 1, and I thought, nope, that's not it. I went in the beginning, God created, and I started thinking that way. In the beginning. Oh my gulai. Okay, I have a riddle for you. You can do this. I think I told it already. I think I did. And I think Josh might have got it or something. Anyways, you can actually do this experiment in the kitchen. In your with household goods. But the riddle is, the big wine bottles, the old ones, the old Italian bottles, you'll see them in the restaurants with the 3-foot neck on them and a big wide base glass, right? And the cork on the top. Well, you take a dime, you put it inside one of those wine bottles. Clink, clink, clink. It's in the bottom of the wine bottle. And then you cork it with a cork. The object is to get the dime out of the bottle, but you can't damage the cork. You can't damage the bottle. How do you take the dime out? And it's not a play on words. It's exactly the way I described it. You can picture it in your house. You can do it. Put the dime inside the bottle, put the cork on the bottle, inside the neck. You need to get the dime out of the bottle without breaking the bottle or removing the cork or damaging the cork. Everything's got to be intact. Bottle's got to be intact. Cork has to be intact. How do you get the dime out of the bottle? And while you're thinking of that, there's one more. A man has 3 croquet balls. You're familiar with croquet, 3 balls. And each ball weighs 1 pound. Yes, you can, Parker. You can do this. You can actually do it. So 3 croquet balls, they each weigh 1 pound. The guy weighs 98 pounds. Do you know when Yeshua cast the demons into the pigs and they all jumped off? Yeah. It was the first recorded incident of suicide. Oh my goodness. Russia. No way. Are you really, ExoMart? Talk to me, bro. Get a hold of my my email address in my description. I've been told you need a laptop to see it, not on your phone. But I'm going to drop my email. And please contact me. And I would love to do an interview. We'll set up an interview on video chat. And I would love to do an interview. I'll interview you and you can tell me about, I don't have Discord. About who you are and what you do in Russia in the pre-hospital medical field or emergency medical department. Okay. Or in the hospital, whatever capacity you work in. All right. But drop me a message. Up to you. If you feel comfortable with doing an interview on video chat, we can do that, and I will edit it and turn it into a production and then post it on YouTube. Okay? Zomart does have Discord. I do not. But yeah, we'll work something out. But that is my email, and it will forward to my Gmail account. Sure, no problem, Zomart. What we can do is I can interview you, you can translate it, or we can translate it. You can answer in Russian, and then I will have subtitles in English. We can do it that way also. Okay? Yeah, 11 people in the house. Come on in. That's Virginia? What? Dots? Virginia? What in the world did you just say, Frank? Oh, is that in Russian? It sounds like vagina. Is it? Probably spelled it wrong. Just use Google Translate and you can get it right. You're sick. No, that's not. Vagina's not sick. It's a anatomical medical word. Medical center was all called disaster medicine. Be interesting to discuss what kind of equipment you and we use. Well, to introduce myself, Zomart, I'm a prior paramedic. I ran emergency ambulances in the United States. And then I joined the United States Navy as a corpsman or a medic. So I have a few years of experience in the United States Navy and about 19 years of experience in the civilian pre-hospital emergency medicine. My wife is also a nurse, and her whole family is in medicine in one capacity or another. Josh, everybody, yeah, he's saying, don't forget the thumbs up, the like. That'll help the algorithm on my channel. Uh, it will diversify my videos to a bigger audience. Cool, Zomart. Well, I do try to tell emergency medical stories. I'm not always successful. We just talk about everything from emergency medicine to the Word of God or military, politics. What else? Pick one, anyone. More. Mads, I mean. Oh, I thought that was more. Doctor, I don't know if you're aware, but there might be an ambulance behind you. Algorithm. Now serving number one. Oh, I got a good one, Frank. True story. See, when people say something, it sparks my memory. True story. I was an intern, a student, a paramedic student, and I was either doing my field internship or I was doing a ride along with uh, the paramedic that turned out to be my preceptor, in other words, my trainer, out in the ambulance. And I was doing a third person ride along. So I was in the back in the jump seat, and him and his partner, Lisa, it was a male female paramedics, and I was the third person doing a ride along. And we ran a call and we delivered the patient to the emergency room. And then while they were doing their paperwork, my preceptor told me a story of a paramedic playing a prank, and he got on the intercom there in the emergency room, something he wasn't supposed to do, and he pushed the speak button and he said out loud to the whole hospital, Dr. Richard Cranium, line 1, Dr. Richard Cranium, line 1, please. And you got to read between the lines, Richard Cranium, and right if you figure out who he was calling to line 1. But it reminds me of what you were saying there. Now serving Mr. Algorithm. Mr. Algorithm. Like Mike Hunt, yeah, similar. Correct. or Jack Mehoff. Yeah. Or say, may I Del Cup? Yeah, I know. When then he strategically ducked out of the emergency room laughing, went back to his ambulance. In Russia, it's difficult with resuscitation drugs and narcotic painkiller, since we have very strict laws regarding medicines, which makes it impossible to use medicines with extraordinary resuscitation methods. Oh, what a bummer. So you have to have what, extreme circumstances in order to use narcotic painkillers? Well, it doesn't sound really any different. Well, I don't know how strict you're talking about, but narcotics are very protected. Oh, Phil Asio. I haven't heard that one. Over the ships. No way. Mr. Phil Asio over the ships. I love it. That would be cool. That would break the monotony, especially out at sea or on a cruise. Yeah, things we think of and do when you're bored. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I told you, Frank, I never stepped aboard a ship in my 8 years of being in the Navy. I missed out. I really would have loved to. I wanted to get exposed to as much as I could. It was the reason why I joined. One of the reasons why I joined the military was to experience something I always wondered about. And I never got to step aboard a ship. I never did. Never had to go through the formalities of saluting the uh, I can't even remember, who's standing there on the other side of the gangway. Turn and salute the ensign on the um, stern of the ship, and then salute the what? The something on the stern, and then at the bow or wherever the flag is, and then salute the uh, officer in charge, OIX or whatever, OIC. Yeah, that's what I was. Yep. And then I got deployed with the Marines in 2004, and yeah, the rest is history. That was the end of my Navy. Um, sorry, Zomart. Let me read if I. He uses vodka and cigarettes to heal anything. When the CO's not on board. Oh, that's right, Frank. You're Coast Guard, correct? Yeah, the quarterdeck. Quarterdeck. No, winner Harris Waltz for president. We even have huge supermarkets the size of football fields where only alcohol is sold, and there's a huge hall with vodka. Oh my gosh. That's Quada. I'm here in New Jersey too, not too far from the car. Speaking of football fields, and actually, I just went to a mall called what's it called? Mall of America here in I think it's called Mall of America here in South Jersey, or actually it was in New York. No, it's in Jersey, but it's up there near, like, equivalent to Long Island, New York. And this place is huge. They've got indoor skiing, snowboards and skis, and they got gondolas inside of it's like a giant stadium. And they turned it into a mall. It's called Mall of America. And it's got indoor skiing, man-made snow inside of a mall. Unbelievable. I didn't hear, Frank. I have a tsunami, I mean, earthquake alert I subscribe to. Anything over 6.0, I set it to. So haven't checked my email in a day or two. So I probably have it sitting in there. But is that the latest? Oh, you got Mall of America in Minnesota. Yeah, there's a Mall of America here in Jersey as well. Oh, that one does? No, they don't have a roller coaster in this one that I know of. I didn't go to that side, but it's quite the entertainment shopping experience. I went inside of a 7D. It was a dud, a complete dud, if you ask me. A 7D full-on experience, where they have sights, sounds, and smells on a stationary roller coaster ride, with all the movement and the air blowing in you and the scent and all that. Well, I ended up in some zombie apocalypse, and we were shooting with a weapon. It was a dud. It was a roller coaster ride. You've been here before, Rio, Sama? Oh, you must be in where? Pakistan? Rio? Is that right? Or Rio, Sama? No, India? Bangladesh? I'm not sure. I'm guessing. Yeah, I used to be. Oh, texture dits. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, Deptford Mall. There you go. Yeah, that's different though. That's outside, right, Frank? Deptford. I've been there. The Deptford Mall. That's an outside. What do they call those? All the different shops and so on. Or is that indoor also? I thought Deptford Mall was the with all the brand name uh, businesses outside, and you walked around, right? What part of Russia do you live? Sorry, uh, Zomart. Oh, what's my opinion? Sorry, Winter. I didn't mean to ignore you. VD Vance, I'm curious. You either love him or hate him. Honestly, tell you the truth, I haven't even been clicking on him or answering to his calls. I just watched Trump in where was he? Minnesota or no? So wherever he was, it was. But Vance, I haven't been following him, and I'm a supporter. But um, just my gut feeling is I'm kind of surprised that Trump would pick a younger guy like that. Oh, it's inside, you're saying? Oh, before you cross over the Walt Whitman. Yeah, but I've been to Deptford Mall. I thought Deptford was. Maybe I haven't. I thought there was one up there. It's got all the outside Gucci stores and what do they call those kind of malls that, have all the shops next to each other, but they're outside and you walk around. But Deptford's inside? Maybe. I think I know what you're talking about. Because I remember parking outside and then walking inside to another mall. Maybe that was Denver. Yeah. Hey Doc, you ever heard of Elm Park? I was wondering if you close or not. I'm a San Diego boy, but I've been here 12, how many years now? 11? Wait, 2014. 10 years plus 2000 plus 2. So 12 years. And I haven't heard. Maybe Frank knows. Bryan Mar Mall, east of Philly? No, no. No, it's right off the expressway, heading up to, like I'm going to Philadelphia, but it's right on the off the expressway off to the left. It's Deptford. It's the Deptford Mall, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking of you go up the expressway from Atlantic City, like you're heading towards Philadelphia. And it's right up there before you exit Cherry Hill on the left-hand side of the expressway. You can see it right off the expressway. I don't know what exit that is. Yeah, it's an outlet mall. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking of. An outlet mall. There's an outlet mall up there that I'm describing right now. Again, Elm Park. Where's Elm Park, Frank? Help Josh out. I don't know Elm Park. Is that up by Piscataway? Yeah. I'm not familiar. Sorry. I've heard Piscataway before, but I don't know where I'm at as far as that is. Sounds like it's up there on the way to Philadelphia. Unfortunately, in Russia, the government began to slow down YouTube, made an attempt to make it analog, but we all understand that this is stupid. Or closer to Princeton? Don't know. Oh, yes, by Piscataway, Josh says. Well, anything to do with medicine is interesting to me, and it is fun to compare notes, with somebody that lives in a different part of the world. And when I hear or watch those that talk about their system in their country, it is interesting to, think about what I used to do compared to, what other countries their um, their protocols and what they are allowed, what the paramedics are allowed to do compared to in the United States, so on. Where, Frank, what duty station do you work at now? Or are you currently in the Coast Guard, or you're retired, or you're currently? It's fun. It's that on this note that it's dirty. You know, being in America, here's an example of why. For example, uh, reason why we're spoiled is most of the infrastructure. The stores, the roads. I'm saying most. The bridges, the buildings, the signs are pretty clean in America. And I think that's what you're referring to, Josh. It's like what we're used to. And then we can tell when something is run down or dirty, you know? And I found that when You step outside of the United States, if you go down to Mexico, if you go down to Tijuana, if you go to the Philippines, if you go to Nepal, if you go to Thailand, if you go to Southeast Asia, everything's dirty. It's like such a contrast compared to what we think is normal. And when you go to the Philippines, it's like everything is weathered and beaten and dirty. I say everything, but most things are that way. It's just the way it is there. They don't have the money to upkeep, what it used to look like when it was brand new. And most everything, the roads, the buildings, it's the people are clean and kept, you know, exceptionally if that, but the surroundings are like filthy. And it's just a shock, compared to what we're used to seeing. But to them, it's normal, and they're like willing to tour you around and say, "Oh, look, here's our famous church of St. Paul's or something." And you look at it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to that church?" When was the last time they gave that a power wash? And to them it's like the the center point of their city and what they're known for, and they're proud of it. And yeah. Oh, Afghanistan. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, feet all out. Yeah, it was like, damn, remind me to never eat that. It's the truth. I mean, in Iraq it was the same way. Everything's on the ground, on a bamboo mat, and all the men are in a circle, and they got all the food in the center, and their tea is nonstop, and they're using their hands. Well, I live with my hands now in a culture that the food tastes better if you eat it with your hands. But when you watch them, they have a method to their madness, and they're not just doing it haphazardly. They do have a method to it, and there's a reason for it. And even though the hand mouth bacterial spread, is rampant, they do try to prevent that by the way they use their hands. So it's like, it's unsanitary in the long run, but they do have a method to how they do it. And if you watch them and watch them in detail, but then again, yeah, it's like you're gonna get tainted if you sit long enough with them and eat their foods with them. And that happened in Iraq when we were there. The the locals had a shop actually open in our fob. Before we got there, we were told this, and the room that they were operating out of, they shut down because the bacterial spread went rampant and got everybody sick, or a lot of people sick on the fob, and they put an end to that. And that was the end of that. But it was just another place to buy food instead of MREs, when the cooks weren't available or whatever. You could go to this shop where the local Iraqis were operating out of, and they sold their hobis and their flatbread and so on and so forth. But yeah, so much for that. Mads. All right, Mr. Mads, young man. Aren't you in school, Mads? Isn't that right? Chernobyl ain't much better. Yeah, and Josh, did you get an opportunity to walk into their traditional outhouses with the hole in the ground and the big cavernous pit underneath it? that catches everything. Those things are pretty impressive. It's like a cave underneath you, this big open hole, big open vault with the hole in the ground and the stick in the corner. Did you see the stick? Yep. The wood stick in the corner. Well, you know what? In Nepal, it was it was the same. It was right out of National Geographic, totally scary to just be there and try to buy food and take care of yourself. But you learn, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my gosh. Portal to hell. You know, when I was in Thailand, I told you before I was married to a girl from Bangkok. We vacationed in 1988. Let's see, my son was 2, so that was 1986 actually. And we went to Bangkok, and then we took a trip to Chiang Mai up in northern Thailand. We took a train, all night train to get to Chiang Mai, and the train had a bathroom in the rear car. Um, and we actually had a sleeper, which was pretty cool, you know, bouncing around while they're going down the track at night when you're trying to sleep. But it was a lot better than no bed. We got to lay supine on a rack one above each other with my little boy at the time. He's now 40 here in 2 months and or 3 months, and he was 2 then. We when you use the bathroom, you go into the bathroom car and you go in the door like like an airplane door, but much more primitive. And they had a toilet seat, a regular like porcelain shaped toilet seat, but the bottom of the toilet was completely open to the track. You could see the tracks racing by while you're sitting your butt by the track rails, and that's where you dumped onto the track rails and away down back behind you, or you peed right onto the track rails, and that was a bottomless track. It's like once you go, you turn around real quick to see if you can see it go behind you. And I imagine getting ambushed with your pants. You know what? Here, and on the crapper, I got mortared, Josh, on the crapper. True story. Pants are down around my ankles. I think I told you that. And it was havoc. The whole outhouse rocked. It was like, woo, and went back. And I was like, oh my gosh. I think I was pants around my ankles, and I had my mag out, and I was counting my rounds in my hat while I was taking a dump, and I'm putting them back in my magazine. This big, barometric change in gust of air hit the outhouse and rocked my outhouse. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I go running out of the outhouse, trying to pull my pants up, and I'm running back to the BAS, the battle aid station, going, holy shit, as chaos ensues. And it's like after the fact, you grab your flak jacket and put it on, because we didn't have it on when we were inside. We had this little cubby where everybody put their armor, while we were in the BAS kicking back. What good would that do? The mortar hits and then you go in the BAS to put your flak jacket on? Yeah, scared the crap out of you. And of course, that became the campfire story. Everybody wanted to hear afterward. Everybody laughing and, oh my God, did you hear about Doc? He got mortared with his pants down around his ankles. I remember that particular incident when everybody, when all the chaos settled down and the dust cleared, literally. we're all doing a head count and contacting the CCC communications and telling them, everything's good to go, all accounted for. And then people started coming into the BAS, and one guy had what we determined to be a piece of rock, embedded in the back of his hand, and he didn't know, where or how. It was just happened. Whether he fell into the gravel and got a rock embedded into the back of his hand, or if it was blown, from the blast and hit his hand or whatever. But it was no biggie. It was just a flesh wound. But I remember everyone talking. So do you get a Purple Heart for that, or he didn't? That I know of. But yeah, I never got injured while over there. Not even I can't even remember a lump, bump, or bruise that I received while over there. Can you imagine trying to wipe with your ears ringing and running out literally with your pants down? No, no Purple Heart. No, no. Um, I got to see, speaking of ears ringing, I mentioned before, I got to do something that we don't do in an ambulance, and that is examine ears with an otoscope. But it was interesting. It's like, well, never done this before. Educate me. What are you doing? And the doc would show us, the independent duty corpsman, the IDC, and he would have like an continuing education on the spot. As we're looking in these guys' ears that come in after being near to a blast, and got to see, just now that we're talking about it, it's what the channel's supposed to be about. When that barometric change in pressure change in the air, Josh knows what I'm talking about, hits you, it does many things to a body, least path of resistance, your eyeballs, your ears, your mouth, your body. And if it's strong enough, it'll damage the inside of you. But more often it was eyes and ears. And so we would look at that, and you look in there, and their nose, whether it's a bloody nose or whatever. But they didn't get hit with anything, an object. They got hit with a pressure wave of air. And you look in their ears, and the ears are very vascular. They have a lot of capillaries, that line the inside of your ears, your ear walls. And those capillaries will bleed the pressure, the impact of air, that pressure wave will push or suck out, the blood and make them very swollen, or not swollen, that too, swollen, but they literally seep. The blood crosses that barrier of tissue barrier, and it leaks on the outside. And you can look inside a person's ear and they're bleeding. And it's either the eardrum and or just the walls of the ear, the soft tissue that your ear is, the ear walls are made of, are seeping fluid, clear fluid, and or blood tinged fluid. And you know what? Education, the treatment for that is nose spray with antihistamine in it. It's a vasoconstrictor. That's what an antihistamine, well, one of the substances in the nose spray is a vasoconstrictor, a medicine that vasoconstricts. It shrinks blood vessels. So if the blood vessels are swollen and bleeding, you want to just put pressure on the blood vessel by constricting them and making them shrink. And so you give nose spray. They literally blasts of ephedrine. I guess that's the drug that's inside of a nose spray that vasoconstricts, and it helps decrease the pressure in your nose. Well, it does, since your nose are connected to your ears. Yeah, you give nose spray and Motrin. Just decrease the swelling and vasoconstrict the capillaries to keep them from seeping and bleeding. So it was, like, nope, never knew that. Never saw that before. And torn eardrums are nothing you can do about it except treat them with like Motrin pain control, and they usually repair themselves. But I didn't really I don't remember the education on eardrums. But got to see and play with new toys while over there, and see injuries that you just don't see um, anywhere else unless you're near ordnance and ballistics. So yeah, I never knew either, Josh. It's like I'm a corpsman, but I never in the IDC. Oh yeah, check this out, Doc. And they're like handing you the scope and they tell you what to do, what not to do. And I'm looking in this, magnification with a little light on the end of it. You've seen the docs use, and they put it in the eardrums, lift up the top of the ear and put it in there and check it out. He says, see those, and he's describing for me what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I see it. See at the top, see the bottom. See the gray membrane in the background? That's the eardrum. It's kind of a grayish, dark gray. And sure enough, you can see the blood vessels. The capillaries, just super. They call it. Got another word I learned while I was there. Let me see if I can remember. The capillaries were. Oh my gosh! Great medical description word. The capillaries were. What was the word they used? First I heard it, but it was self-explanatory. When you hear it, you're like, oh, that's what they're calling that. The capillaries were, I'll think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, I already described, what they look like. They're just super prevalent. You can actually see it in the walls of the tissue, just like little blood vessels. And they're seeping, and in the bottom of the ear canal is filled with fluid. You can literally put a Q-tip in there and soak it up, and get it out of there. It's blood-tinged fluid. Yeah, just nose spray with ephedrine in it or whatever the vasoconstrictor. And then comfort. They, of course, it's painful, and so you give them Motrin, or good old vitamin M is what we called Motrin, because it was the number, right, Josh? Vitamin M. The 800 big horse pill, the 800 milligram. Yeah, it was the most common drug used the whole time we were over there. Headaches. How many times did you have a headache out in the field, Josh? Dehydrated headaches. Yep. Did you ever get any bad cysts on your neck from, I don't know if you grew your hair out or kept them cut like the Marines do. They're so anal about being high and tight and good to go. And they're always shaving their heads, and they come in with these giant boils on their neck and or in their armpits. Did you ever get any big cysts, boils underneath in your armpits or on your neck? I got to be taught how to drain and irrigate big boils on people's necks and in their armpits. That was always fun. Not. That's it. Yeah. So basically, what is earwax? Does that protect the eardrum? Oh yes, the horse headache daily. Yeah, shiny bald head for you. Yeah, yeah. We did that. I got a picture, and I should try to share that. I shaved my head while over there. Never again. But what else do you do when you're not doing anything? So everybody shaved their head. I think Doc Alonso, the Filipino guy, shaved his head first, and everybody followed suit. It's like, so nothing but time to grow your hair back. So let's shave your head. Let's see. Let me see if I can Hold on. Let me use my son's phone. It's on Google Photos, I'm pretty sure. Can I see your phone, baby? Where is it? Oh, here it is, over here. Yeah, I haven't really shared a whole lot of Iraq photos. I've got a handful of them that I have online. I got the Iraqi interpreters and the Albanian and Yugoslav workers that emptied our trash and our shitters. And then let's see. Let's see. I just got bad blisters from the sun on my head. Really? You got blisters on your head? And feet, boots were uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the worst. Your feet, I mean, yeah. I had I had one guy with a history of an ingrown toenail. And speaking of feet, you get your feet that are in bad shape, you can't do anything. You can't walk, you can't go on a patrol. It's like that's why feet were so important. They're so stringent about taking care of your feet because they're devastating. If you've got a foot injury, you can't do anything. It's like a back injury or a abdominal injury. Your stomach muscles and your back muscles. We had a guy that was bent over, literally like a U. He was a little Hispanic dude, probably no taller than 5 feet 4 inches tall. And he looked like an old man with kyphosis. Kyphosis is that curvature of the spine. But he came into the BS, I mean, completely bent over. And he's like, he could barely raise his head up. And he's like, Doc, I got a problem. And I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? He's like, I can't stand up straight. He says, my back is in spasm so bad right now. And he ended up being out of service for like 3 days in his bunk and back to the BAS doing checkups with us every day for treatment. He was out of the field. He couldn't operate. AVMU. What is that? Not really, right? Yeah, messy day. Yeah, if I was on a laptop, darn it, I could share at will and not have to worry about getting booted out or anything. And you know what? When you're using your cell phone, you can't. You have very limited ability when you become a guest. Up on stage, you can't share screen. The only thing you can do is appear on stage and uh, mute your mic and or close your camera. What are you referring to, AV? I'm sorry. What is not really, right? Josh said he used to lace up your boots so tight, felt like my blood sugar was horrible, felt my feet were going to fall off. Oh no. Yeah, little nuances about your body. The media doesn't cover those little things. With troops out in the field or just stories. Things that you don't you take for granted that all soldiers are just going through A, B, C, and D while they're out in the field, but they never fail to mention the times you had to take a crap or take a piss and things that you run into or circumstances you run into while trying to do those simple everyday things. Nobody ever covers that. Or walking on patrol and tripping and or falling down and simple malfunctions that happen with you and or your equipment, your feet, your hands, your eyeballs. Yeah, infection was one of the biggest. If I were to say what was the biggest thing that we treated while we were over there, infections. And being a paramedic, it's like, huh? What do I do for infections? We don't deal with that in an emergency ambulance. If somebody's got one, well, okay, that we basically ask, so what happened to you? And how'd that happen? And it's like, well, we have nothing here to give you, but we can give you a ride to the hospital where they can take care of you. But we actually got to treat some infections. So that was like new, just a whole new, it's like what my wife does as a nurse. She works in medical surgical floor, where they get people that are post surgery or post medical procedures, and then they basically just maintain what's already been done to them until they go home, till they're well enough to go home. Well, we would get people with infections, to their neck or their armpits or whatever. And then it's like, okay, this isn't an emergency. So what do we do for this guy? Oh, go ahead and start an IV, doc. And we have some antibiotics that we give for that particular infection. Like, oh, I know how to start an IV. Yeah, I know how to push medications. But as far as what medication and why, it was above my pay grade. And that was why the independent duty corpsman was there. And you just become his extra set of hands. Like the doc, the actual doctor. You're actually assisting the doctor and just becoming his extra set of hands. And then they educate you about it afterwards or during, and you you learn something about a side of medicine that you didn't deal with out in an ambulance. Yes, that was always like the first thing you heard about when you got there and you started seeing pictures of other fobs with their pet camel spiders and or things they did with them. But we only had, I don't know, I only saw them a couple of times. They're actually smaller than the stories that we heard about. Wow, that's pretty cool or bad, whatever way you want to look at it. The biggest thing that we had at our fob were mice and snakes. That was like the pest control that we were always on trying to stay on top of. The snakes we didn't do anything about because they eat mice, so we let them wander. They're just like regular racers or rat snakes, with no teeth. And so they actually had a pet snake at the fob, and that thing got out of its cage and ended up disappearing. But the mice, we'd set the sticky traps, underneath our beds, and you wake up in the middle of the night with that squealing and screaming, and then you flashlight under your bed and see a mouse stuck in a sticky trap, suffocating from the sticky trap. But camel spiders weren't very prevalent, at least not at that fob. I didn't really hear too much about them anywhere else. What was I saying? I was talking about. Oh yeah, I was just talking about the infections. Oh, so these infections were usually these boils that I was talking about, or ingrown hairs, from guys shaving their head and their neck, and or they weren't shaving their armpits, but armpits seemed to be a big, dirty, I guess, place that they weren't able to keep clean, whatever. But these these infections would be in these boils or cysts under their armpits, and we'd put them on an antibiotic, which is usually a wonder drug to clear up infections, but it wasn't working. And then there was one more step up that was even stronger than the standard antibiotic that they used, and it was Cipro. But even Cipro, which was like a catch-all antibiotic, strong one, wasn't affecting these infections. And then we got word that whatever this bug was that was causing their infection was like rampant in Iraq. And it became known, the word was that, yeah, it doesn't respond to even Cipro, which is the strongest thing we had. So they'd end up getting shipped to Al-Assad, and then if they couldn't take care of it, they ended up going somewhere else to be addressed, all because of an infection, a boil. But that was the big word, the biggest talk was that whatever bug it was in Iraq was pretty aggressive, and it wasn't treatable. Then we ended up just not treating it. We'd start the IV, get them on we'd put them on it, but then they'd end up we knew already we had to arrange for a transfer so that they could go to the next, higher level of care, because the drug wasn't going to work. So. But as you know, you end up with something like that out in the field, and then you end up being you're an asset that isn't workable, and so you end up getting shipped out. Not because of that's like something media doesn't cover. How often do you hear about soldiers leaving the field because of an infection? They don't cover that. They only cover bullets and bombs. Where the number one cause of a soldier leaving the field, at least when I was there, was infection. It's like these, yeah. You don't hear about that kind of stuff. Media doesn't cover that kind of stuff. And food and hygiene, as you know, is the number one thing that the docs were always stressing to the soldiers. Carry wipes. Wash your hands before you eat, if you can. Do your best, because you end up getting the dysentery, sorry, and or some other bug out in the field. You're screwed. Now you're by yourself with your buddies, and you got the shits, and it doesn't stop. Yeah, you were saying, especially eating with the locals. No. Get those tabs, water purification tabs. Gosh, I've been living on water purification tablets since I was a teenager, and I learned in backpacking basics to always carry those things with you. And I went all over the world with iodine tabs. And every time I filled up my water bottle, I'd always put purification tabs in it. And I never got sick. In all my places I've been to in the world, I've never been sick from tainted water. And it's like, so much for orange water, but I'm going to drink it because I'm not going to take the chance. And you don't always have the opportunity to boil water, So use iodine tabs. Just put it in there. Shake it up, turn your water orange, and drink it. The dude wipes. What? I remember. Well, it's true. Well, yeah, I've thought of actually I started a book, but it wasn't on what I'm talking about now. It was on something else that I don't want to start. But I have a book. I don't write books, so I don't even know how to finish it or how to continue it. But I've got an unfinished how many chapters? 23 chapter book that I started to try to write when I got back from Louisiana, that 8 months in Louisiana chasing that woman. Yeah, I've got 23 chapters on that 8 months in Louisiana. The most bizarre thing, Josh, I mean, you've seen movies. I actually named it after a movie. Do you remember the movie A Beautiful Mind? You know, the schizophrenic that lived from Boston, Massachusetts, MIT. I think he's MIT. Uh, uh, Genius. He suffered from schizophrenia. And the movie A Beautiful Mind with Crowe, and I think Russell Crowe was the schizophrenic. Well, yeah, I met the female version, I think, of him, and I lived with her for 8 months. Unfrickin' real. It was the most wildest roller coaster ride I've ever been on. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was psychiatric. It was the most psychiatric 8 months of my life that I've ever experienced for me and to watch somebody else go through. Yeah, I have it on that blog that I've posted a few times on that illusiondweller.blogspot.com site where my after action stories are written. Well, I don't have it posted there because it's still in the works, but I've never worked on it since I started it, you know, back in 2000. When was that? Um, I was there in 1998, 98, 99. And I came home and I tried to recall, you know, every like incident that I went through during that 8 months, and I ended up with 23 chapters, I think, by name, a name for each chapter. And I could write forever about that. And it would be something right out of a Tom Clancy. It was wild. Navy SEALs, everything. Everything. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but yeah, Navy SEALs and uh, let's see what else. She was apparently from Donegal, Ireland, and she was a CIA, not a CIA, but a female intelligence, and unbelievable, unbelievable. The chapters that I went through in during the 8 months. You just saw it. Have you ever seen the movie Hacksaw Ridge? I know about it, but I don't think I've seen it. Isn't that the Hacksaw Ridge? Is that a Vietnam movie? What's up, dummy? Yo, dummy. The dude wipes. I remember. Yeah, I was counting my rounds in my hat as something I sometimes I just go in there to get away, yeah, as an excuse to go to the bathroom, but really I wasn't in there to go to the bathroom. It was just in there to hang out and count my rounds and pass time. Yeah, it's about the medic who didn't hear arms in the army. Who didn't what? Who didn't wear arms in the army? Is that what you mean? Yeah, he was according to the Geneva Conventions, you're a non yeah, bear arms. Yeah. Well, that's the whole, Geneva Conventions card that I showed you, that I did I show you that card? Yeah. You're a non-combatant, but yet I we went through that while I was over there. I'm like, uh, give me an M16. I feel pretty naked out here. Even with my 9 millimeter. It's like, that doesn't reach out very far unless they're real close. I mean, I'm a good shot all in all, but we eventually, the squeaky wheel got the grease for M16s for the medics. And so we ended up finally getting issued or having the option to have an M16 as well as our M9. So, but we didn't have it at the very beginning. It was like first 2 months, we were without an M16. And then we started going out on patrol. That's when it was like, yeah. Well, I'll have to watch it if I haven't already. I know the title really well, Hacksaw Ridge. Have you seen the movie The Greatest Beer Run Ever? Had my I was doing some dermatology appointment, and the nurse or the tech that's treating me, older lady, I say older, like my age, she told me about it. Have you ever seen The Greatest Beer Run Ever? And I'm like, huh? The what? Josh, you have to see it. Go to iMovie or whatever movie channel, or app, or look for it on Amazon or whatever. Just look for it. The Greatest Beer Run Ever. Super unique and well done. You got to see it. It is really low budget, apparently, relatively low budget movie, but super well done. It's like one of the sleepers. And it's like, wow. Kind of nostalgic before my time, just before my time when the Vietnam War was, in its, I remember I can remember it actually brings back memories, when the Vietnam conflict was going on and it then being broadcast into the homes like never before. And then I remember my mom actually shutting off the TV when the newscast would come on about it because they started broadcasting things that really shouldn't have been broadcast on television about the war. I remember that was when I was little, 1969, 1970 in Rochester, New York. I was 4 or 5 years old. Let's see. I was four until I was 6 or 7. And we came back in 1971, back to San Diego from Rochester. Anyway, so that news broadcast during that time, I remember the Vietnam War, but I was much too little to be involved in that. And it's during that time that's the movie is portrayed as happening during that time. And it's a story about a guy who basically does, I'm not going to reveal anymore, the greatest beer run ever. And it's wild. It's like super, whoever did it did a really good job. It's a true story, based on a true story. Matter of fact, Bill Murray plays in it. I didn't even know it was Bill Murray in the movie. He plays a bartender, and he's got salt and pepper hair. And I didn't even know who that was. I was trying to tell my wife, I know that guy, but I don't know who it is. Who is that? I thought it was the actual actor that the movie is based on that did the greatest beer run ever. I thought that was him doing a cameo behind the bar. And then I looked at the cast and it was Bill Murray. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know it was him. But then you look at it and it's like, oh my God, I do see. Yeah, that is Bill Murray. Yeah, the greatest beer run ever. I've watched it like 3 times because I purchased it for $4.99 or whatever, and it gives you a certain length of time to watch it, like a month or whatever. And I watched it 3 times. And then I would see things that I didn't see. You know, it's like you want to watch it again and try to get something out of it you didn't get out of it the first time. And I don't know about you, but I'm a captions advocate, not because I can't hear, although I do have hearing loss from playing the drums. The Navy diagnosed me with that high end, high frequency hearing loss. And it wasn't the war, and it wasn't, it was playing drums when I was younger. But it's not that I don't, it's not that I can't hear what they're saying. It's just captions pick up things that you can't or you didn't hear in the background. Like, when you got a background people talking, and you you take for granted that people are just talking, but captions picks up a lot, not always, and it does caption the wrong thing being said as well. But I find that I can watch those captions and listen at the same time and get even more out of what is being said. So a lot of people don't like captions, but my wife and I, like, always we put the captions on. And she's so used to listening to her Korean drama, and you can't understand Korean anyway, so captions are a must because they caption it in English. So that's a Filipino thing over there. They watch Chinese, kung fu movies, and they're speaking in Chinese, so they put captions on. And so watching a movie with captions is like the norm over in the Philippines. So, yeah. So we always put captions on. And so I'm always watching the captions to see if it picks up something that I didn't hear the first time. It's another, like I said, it's another Vietnam era movie, but it's totally different than what, like, Hacksaw Ridge or Hill, whatever that hill number is that the Marines got. They took over in Vietnam, whatever that name of that hill is. It's not a documentary. It's a based on a true story. Yeah, you were telling me before that your hearing is also, crap. Yeah, yeah, captions. Um, and at the very end of the movie, I will tell you this without spoiling anything. They show the actual crew, the actual soldiers. They're Army, by the way, Josh. So it is, right along your lines. Um, uh, Army is portrayed in the movie. That's the branch. Yeah, yeah, it's Army. Some of his friends got deployed. He didn't. But at the end of the movie, they actually show the actual guys that were portrayed in the movie, and they're all like doing a reunion. Where they all got together years later. I think they're all in their 70s. Yeah, that Vietnam era age, in their 70s. So it's pretty cool to see the actual crew, that the movie is based on. Yeah, really good. Really good. I think it was. I'm actually getting interested in watching it again. And what makes it even cooler is, wow, this really happened? He actually did that? And apparently, yep, pretty cool. Well, I've been talking away, Josh and I in particular. Who's out there still? Who's um who's still listening? AVMU, who else is there? You dummy? I didn't hear any more from you guys. Um, oh, to answer your question as far as what is earwax, you know what? I thought I knew, and I mentioned it thinking I like was, educated at a doctor's appointment with my son when he was little. Wasn't with my son? Yeah, I believe it was. And the doc was there, and I think my son asked a similar question, and I went, "Oh, it's sebum, CEBUM," and the doc's like, "No, it's not sebum." And sebum is um wait, sebum. I think of what comes out of like it's called a cyst, and it's just drainage from I forget what kind of cyst it is, where just this waxy like pimple material, comes erupting out of these these boils, and sebum. Anyways, I kind of mixed up one for the other, and he's like, "No, it's not that." And I went, "Oh, it's not? What is it?" I forgot what he told me, and what earwax is actually there for. But he did tell me, and I forgot what it was. Yeah, but pus is like from an infection, and my not to I there are cysts though that are non they're sebaceous cysts. And I think that's where sebum comes from. Sebaceous. No. And it's more of just it's not due to an infection, and I forget what it is, but a cavity actually forms underneath these non-infected bumps, and it's like an ingrown hair that I forget what forms them, whether it's an ingrown hair at first, and then if not treated, they don't necessarily become infected, but they stay there, and then and at the base of them, they end up collecting this. Uh, it's I don't even know what it's made from, but it's not due to an infection. It just builds up and sits there, and you can push on them and suppress all the contents out of the cavity and freak out, about it, but it doesn't get infected and it doesn't get red. And sometimes they don't even bother you. They're just there. And the doctors say, well, if they're not bothering you, leave them alone. Because pressing on them and suppressing all the contents is just gonna, it could, make it worse and or cause an infection. So you might as well just leave it alone. Or if you want, we can remove it for you. But if it's not bothering you, leave it alone. And sometimes they're there and people don't choose not to do anything about it, and they're just part of your body and you live with it. It's just a bump on the skin, with a bunch of contents underneath it. It kind of reminds me of your ear. Like, what in the heck is that wax doing in there? It's got to be something to protect your, I don't know. Google it. The episode sponsored by Dr. Pimple Popper. What's up, OG? Eden! Oh, where are you going? And um, what? Where's your gig? Do you know what you're going to play already? Wait, check out this guy here. He can't talk your lady out of your marriage. Just below my hometown. That's the name? Fyffe? Fife? The wax is to catch bugs from reaching your eardrum, I think. Do you have a playlist already that you're gonna use? Original? Oh, Fife, Barney Fife. Oh, golly. Yeah, I'll have to. That's the name of the town in where are you again? Uh, Alabama? Oh, Fife High School football. Aha. In your county? Is that what you meant? Oh, it's where you live. Okay. Yeah, like Barney Fife. Didn't Kuya Joey um educate you on your hometown? Or was that another place that he was referring to, where they had a lot of music history? Was that your town, Fife? Ah, 28-4. You killed them. So do you I take it you attend the games on a regular basis, your high school football team? Gosh, I remember I was in the band, so I was up in the grandstands, playing I was a drummer, so I was, banging on my drums, playing the cadences and or the fight songs and all the rest of the things that the band does for a football game. Yeah, how do you even get 4 points in football? Yeah, two safeties. No, you run the you run the ball in on a field goal, or is that an extra point? You get two points for running the ball in instead of kicking a field goal? No, kicking a field goal is 3 points. Is it just one? What the heck? And we won like 80-30. Holy moly! That's football score. Sounds like a basketball score. Yeah, 2 point conversion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, did you ever figure out how to get the dime out of the bottle, guys? Oh my gosh. That town of Auburn brings back memories. Remember what I said? Every time somebody says something, I can always get something out of their comment, and it sparks a memory of mine. Check this out. I was speaking of drums, and I'm going to associate this with Auburn. You know, there's many Auburn places in the United States. Well, there's Auburn, California, and it's farm country north of Sacramento. I don't know if anybody in the audience has ever lived in California or that part of. There's more to California than just San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. It's a humongous state. Well, anyways, yeah, north of Sacramento, which is north of San Francisco, um, is a small farming town of Auburn. And it's actually Highway 80 goes right through it, and it heads over to, if you follow 80, you'll eventually go over to Lake Tahoe. It kind of goes across the state and a little bit down. And it's like the northern Sierra area. Out east is the Sierra Nevadas. So Auburn's in this little small farming community up there. Well, what in the world was I doing in a small farming community of Auburn? Well, we were, all drummers hanging out. We were already graduated high school, I think. Like first year, we're all 18 years old and still hanging out together, the drummers, that is. In particular, myself, good friend Tim, and Tom, and Keith. Keith was a transplant from Illinois, and he was the most talented out of all of us. He had a family, his dad in particular, that ran his own music business called Wide World of Music, and he was a organizer for music festivals throughout the nation, and he would coordinate, jazz band performances, concerts, school competitions, and so on and so forth. Just like you're talking about the football, against each other. Well, he was in the music. What is crochet? That's where you knit yarn and you make socks and blankets and different clothing items. Crochet. 80, damn, those losing kids went home and took up crochet. Gotcha. That's where that came from. No, I don't know about the Alabama football stadium. So anyhow, we're still hanging out with Keith, the son of this Wide World of Music dad, and he put together a music festival in San Diego where the schools were all going to compete against each other in marching band and drill teams, and it was a marching band competition, I believe, and maybe orchestra and concert band, and it was held in different locations in San Diego, out on a football field or in a building where they had concert band or orchestras, and it was a competition. Well, apparently Auburn, the school in Auburn, again, small farming community up in central California, came down to this competition in San Diego, and we got word through Keith and his dad, or through Keith, that his dad was having a music festival in downtown, down at the Mission Beach in San Diego, down by the roller coaster, if anybody's ever been there. And so we're like hopping into Gary's car. I was the one with the vehicle. So Tim was always my shotgun, and Keith in the back and Tom in the back, and we'd all four drive down there and go look for girls. And of course, that was the only reason why we went. And so when I went down there, I ended up meeting the I think it was a drill team or the girls from Auburn High School, from I'd never even heard of Auburn, California. And I ended up meeting a girl named Patricia, or Trish, as I called her. And I ended up doing a long distance kind of, you can call it a long distance relationship, but it was basically once a year when I would do my pilgrimage up to Yosemite Valley to do some rock climbing trip. I was in the rock climbing community, as I've mentioned before. And I would go to Yosemite to do my annual pilgrimage after school started in September, about right around this time, coming up on about this time of the year. When school goes back in, the national parks and all the tourist attractions, the volume of traffic goes way down. So that was the time to go to Yosemite. And well, Auburn is just a hop, skip, and a holler, about an hour drive from Yosemite. And I had an opportunity to actually go to Auburn. That was, oh, there goes my battery. And visit, instead of chatting over the phone at the time, I would actually make a visit. Well, you got a picture. I think I was 19 and Trisha is like 16. She's like a sophomore or junior in high school. And yeah, Gary was the older guy, the 19-year-old. Jailbait, I guess, oh no, why was this battery doesn't look like it. Well, it was sitting before. It should be charged, but the light's still on. Now I'm starting to second guess my charger here. Anyways, and so yeah, it was actually another place to visit during my pilgrimage to Yosemite. And there we go. Let's see, did it focus? Not really. So actually the parent, the dad was like in Texas working whatever he had to do in his, wasn't finding work or wasn't making ends meet with his farm. And although they did sell cattle, I remember that. And I would go out in the field with her and to set up the sprinklers and go feed the animals in the barn, mostly just horse and ducks and something else. And I help her move the sprinklers, the big agricultural sprinklers. And then they had a trailer for me there. Instead of me sleeping in the house, of course, Mom and Grandma were pretty strict about that, and so they gave Gary a place out in the trailer, out in the side yard. So that was pretty cool. I got my own trailer to camp out in, and I just would hang out there for a couple of days and kick it with her and her family, and then I would drive all the way back to San Diego. It was like a 10-hour drive to get back to San Diego. You played tennis because there was like 30 girls and 2 guys. Yeah, now we know why you played tennis. Babes in pot back in those days brings back good memories. Gosh. You remember Lake Tahoe? My gosh. You know what? I got a job at Harris Hotel in Lake Tahoe. At least remember Tim I mentioned, the other drummer? He was my sidekick. We were mistaken as being brothers because we wore our hair the same, although I was a blonde and he was a brunette. But when we were together and we had that 80s feathered look, long, kind of longish hair with a feathered layback cut over our ears, looked like, I don't know. Anyways, I got a picture on the wall of that style. He was, he and I, God, I'm burping. Ugh. He and I applied for a summer job up in Lake Tahoe. We saw it in the newspaper. And Yeah, I think you were sharing this with Kuya Joey about the music history in the area that you live in. Yeah. Um, so Tim and I went down to the Holiday Inn, I think it was, downtown San Diego at the Embarcadero by the, what is that famous masted ship? It's a museum that sits down on on the dock in downtown San Diego. What was the name of that ship? I forget. Anyways, right across the street from it was the Hilton Hotel. I believe it was the Hilton. And that's where the interviews were being held. So Tim and I went down there and we applied, filled out the application in the lobby, and then eventually got called in, one by one for the interview. And we were offered busboy jobs at Harrah's Hotel up in Lake Tahoe. Um, Peter hated ears. Let's go. Oh my God. Badoom. So, we were given a start date. Um, we had to get no, we were going to get uniforms, but we're given all the details. And the guy was saying, "Yeah, see you up there, at such and such date." And they gave us a report time. I think they were giving us a place to stay also. It was part of the hiring package. And so, anyways, make a long story shorter, um, my cars ended up starting having some problems. I had a Ford Capri, a 74 Ford Capri, 5-speed stick shift. And it started having transmission or no, differential problems in the back. And kind of a grinding, but you could run with it. It just was very irritating. And it was one of those, I need to take care of. I'd rather take care of it than listen to that. And I never did. And then I started having some kind of an idling issue, and older neighbor man, said he could fix it or look at it for me, and he ended up screwing it up even worse. And I didn't think it was safe. It was an overheat. It was causing an overheating problem as well to drive all the way up to Lake Tahoe. So instead of calling the supervisor and telling him that we couldn't, follow through with this, I ended up just not calling at all and leaving them in the dust basically. I felt bad about it, but I thought, oh well, so much for that. Oh my gosh, how do you know what the French drop is? You're watching one of my videos? You saw it in your shorts, on one of my shorts. I could actually do here. Now you're going to get me started here, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of magic for you guys. Should we do some magic? Something else, another chapter of my life I never covered. I was a magician, or at least I wanted to be. I told you about it. I think I told you the guy that taught me the French drop, the young 12-year-old that taught another 12-year-old the basics in magic. He went on to be a successful magician to this very day, travels the world, tours. His performance is called Magic on Ice. All of his magic is done on ice skates. It's like Cirque du Soleil theme, big time, unbelievable. You can go to his website, Steve Wheeler Magic on Ice, and see his production. Incredible. He travels all over the world, Southeast Asia, America, Russia, all over the world, doing his performance. He's been doing it for many, many years now. Yeah, he was 12 years old, teaching magic at that age, and he went on to be incredibly successful. Well, anyways, I'm gonna hold on. You'll be able to see him. You'll be able to see my hands. I'll do it right here. But I might be able to shut the background off as well. But let me go get my apparatus. I'll do a little bit of prestidigitation for you guys. Big word. Big word for magic. Okay. Got it. And I'll take this big coin off my dresser. You'll be able to see it a little bit better than a regular quarter or another standard coin. I've got a big gold, almost like one of the coins you see in the military, that they issue with the name of the squadron or whatever what do they call those coins again, Josh? The only magic I do is markers. Yeah. That's why people on ice stare out the peepholes looking for magic. Yeah, up against my blue shirt is probably the best for what I'm gonna present here. You can do a French drop with pretty much anything. You can do it with a coin, you can do it with a ball, but the French drop is basically this. Can you see this okay? You grab it. See, that's the French drop. It's just a basic sleight. You see, I should turn off the background. Every once in a while, it kind of disappears. Okay. Let me get a little bit closer. I'll shut off this background here. Hold on a second. Okay. Oh, boy, this focus is pretty nasty. Stand by. Hold on a second, guys. No, I got my headphones on. You can't. Let me see if I can get this set up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, the French drop is pretty basic. There's different ways. I don't think it's called the French drop, but see if I can present this here. Yeah, let me see. It's very hard to do on camera, but I can hold it. You can hold it in your fingers like this, or in your hand like this, and push it in with your thumb. Oh. Can you see that? And then in my armpit. See that okay? The French drop is just holding it in your fingertips and grabbing it. See that? Yeah, good old Steve Wheeler. I would go to his do the ear one. Wait. Here, I'll take my microphones. The ear one is you just pull it out. You pull it out of your butt. You can put it in your mouth. Wait. I guess what you're supposed to do is take it and then reach back in your butt and pull it out underneath your ass. Yeah. Anyways, do whatever you want with it. So yeah, of course, wearing a ring doesn't do any justice because the coin always hits against my ring. I guess I could make my ring disappear, but so that's the French drop. Inside my sleeve, I think, is where it came from that time. Oh, here's one. It's pretty cool. I can take this coin, this big coin, check this out, and put it through the back of my hand. I can push it. Literally, I got a weird scar there. Let's see if you can see this scar. It's kind of Now you really can't see it. But yeah, when I've tried to do it before, I ended up putting a pretty big gash in the back of my hand, trying to push it through at one point. But anyways, yeah, I'm just kidding. But so I'm going to take the coin and put it through the back of my hand. Believe me, I can take this giant coin and push it through the back of my hand into the other side of my hand. A lot of people said that if I had two coins, it'd make it a lot easier. So I could conceal one coin in my hand and then take the other coin and push it through the back of my hand and somehow get rid of that one. And then I'll have the other coin in my hand. Did you see that? You take the coin, put it through the back of your hand. Okay, show that your hand's empty, and then push it through the back of your hand. To the other side of your palm. How did that look? How does that look on camera? Watch again. I can take the coin, put it through the back of my hand. Yeah, but make sure you show your hand empty so there's no coin there, okay? That one didn't go very well. See, that's why you're not supposed to do a trick more than once, is so that you don't reveal what it is that you're doing. But you're literally trying to push the coin through the back of your hand. Everyone always suspects you have two coins, so you show your hand empty, okay? So when it works well, when it's done well, it's pretty effective. Okay, and I might even show you how some of these things are done, and you're going to be surprised. But watch this. Watch how hidden this move is. It's pretty crazy. I like your take my money. You literally have the coin in your hand. It's not a matter of trying to slide it, to the side and putting it in your hand or anything. Watch. It's all in the patter. Patter is what you're saying. And misdirection. So you're misdirecting their thoughts and their eyeballs with what you're saying and your actions, okay? Having another coin in this hand would make this trick a lot easier, because that way all I got to do is somehow get rid of this one and I already have the coin in this hand, right? Watch. See, I just did it again. And it was all about what I was saying and what I was doing at the same time that misdirects you from what I did. You're like, what? Okay, watch. I'm going to do this in slow-mo. Watch this. You probably won't even be able to see it. I literally have the coin. I never not have the coin, okay? But watch this. I show my hand empty, turn my hand over. Did you catch it? You probably didn't see it, because I didn't see it. Even me watching myself in the camera. Look. Watch, I'm going to do it in slow-mo. Here's the catch, and I don't normally reveal magic, but I'm going to. It's all about the angle, and you literally won't see it. When I open my hand and I turn my hand back over, watch, the edge of my hand is going to pass right at the bottom of my fingers as I completely turn it over. At that point of my hand just momentarily covering up the tip of my fingers right there, I'm going to drop the coin and catch it in my hand. You probably saw it just now, but it's all done in one motion. Watch. I push it in the back of my hand, show that it's empty. There it is. Did you see it? You see, because if I can get it just right where I'm covering the tip of my fingers and I do the dirty deed at that moment, there it is. I just did it. I just dropped it and caught it. Isn't that crazy? But I'm talking at the same time. And when people are talking, where are you looking? You're looking at them. You're looking at their eyeballs. Well, in this instance, it's kind of hard to see me because I'm kind of at the top of the camera here. But let's see if I can. I'm gonna raise this up a bit. But you get it? I'm talking on purpose. The story that I'm telling is a bunch of BS. Usually, I'm just telling you that I could have a coin in my hand and it would make it a lot easier. Did you see that? You didn't even see it. You see? I'm just talking to distract you. You see? Isn't that crazy? But anyway, that's just an example. So I was learning this at 12 years old by another 12 years. This is seventh grade. He had magic classes. His mother would make sandwiches and Kool-Aid. Remember Kool-Aid, Josh? All the flavors of Kool-Aid. She would make Kool-Aid and like chicken spread sandwiches or peanut butter and jelly and chips. And we would literally have, after school, we would go over to Steve's house, Steve Wheeler's Magic on Ice. Yeah, the actual grand production that he has today. He and his friend John Fox, who happens to be his general manager today for Magic on Ice, true story. And yeah, they would be in tandem. They would give a magic class after school. And a group of us, 4 or 5 kids, would go over there and learn magic. Isn't that crazy? And that's where I first learned the French drop and these little variations on the theme. It's kind of hard to see. You push it in with your thumb, make it disappear and produce the coin and so on and so forth. Okay, well, check this one out. Now, this one I learned on my own. Let's see, I probably should lower the camera back because it's going to be done. It's very hard. If I had the camera spread out, you'd be able to see this a lot better. So it's all about angle here on the camera for you to see the illusion. This is called a parlor trick. And the differences are close-up magic, which is self-explanatory. It's close-up in your face, right under your nose. You've heard these terms before. But parlor magic is a little further back, where I'm on a stage, or I'm behind a table. I'm behind the table, and you're in front of it. So you've got this table between the magician and the audience. That's parlor magic. Now, if you came up to the table right up close to me and I came up and presented my hands right there in front of you, that would be close-up magic. But if I stand back and I've usually got some kind of a barrier between you and me, that's parlor magic. Like in a parlor, you go into a store and the salesman is behind the counter and he stands back and starts, presenting, his trick. That's parlor magic. And then when a person is actually up on stage, like in an auditorium or like a music stage, you got the audience out in front of you and you're actually on a stage, that's called stage magic for obvious reasons. And you can do a lot bigger magic on a stage. I shouldn't say get away with, but wait, Aiden, I'm gonna do a routine here. See if I can do this. I'm trying to remember where I got to keep these things, but you can do magic with, like I said, you can do magic with coins. You can do cigarette magic. You can do ball magic. This is let's see if I can do this here. This is one. Watch. You can do the same thing with a ball. Okay.
But in that case, you know, you got it on top of your hand, and you're gonna swipe it off. See, it's very hard to put in. You're gonna swipe it off the top of your, you know, like you're holding it up there. The illusion is that you're gonna take it right off the top of your hand, you know, and produce it somewhere else. So, anyways, if you took this ball, watch this. Watch this. This is crazy, right? A white ball. They're actually made of rubber. It's like a Super Bowl. Watch real quick. Watch this, Aiden. Watch. Wait. See, I got the ball. I got the things in the wrong pocket. Here it is. Like the second one's over here in my pocket. Okay? So I've got two. I'm trying to do this the best here. Watch. This cord is in the way. Watch. I'll take that third one. Make it disappear. Look. See? Nothing in my hand. There it was in my pocket. Now watch. I'm going to now make them disappear. So I go from 4 to 3. I take that third one, put it down in the other position, make it disappear, produce it out of my hand, put that in my pocket. You can't see it, but I'm actually putting it in my pocket, so it's not here, it's not there, right? Watch. This cord keeps getting in my way. Do this. Take that third one away, make it disappear, okay? And then grab that top one, put it down in that other position, so you got 2 still, right? Make it disappear, produce it out of your other hand, get rid of that, put it in my pocket, so it's not here anymore, right? But look, it came back, make it disappear, and you're back down to 1. Isn't that crazy? Where are they disappearing to? Now this one, I've never revealed to anyone. I mean, and I'm not the only one that can do this. All magicians, you know, that know. This is called the multiplying billiard balls. And you'll see this routine on my little short video that you can watch. But you literally, the ball is literally a Super Bowl. See that? I don't know if you can see that over there in the camera here. But it's, you can hear it here. It's a Super Bowl. These things are made of solid rubber. Okay? See, there we go. Take it off the top of your hand. Produce it in your armpit. Take that one, right? And you just repeat. You can grab 2, make it disappear, and go through the same routine. What in the world is happening, huh? Like, where are they going? Where are you hiding them? The transgender movement is making balls disappear. Oh no! Oh gee! Isn't that crazy? Okay, I'm sorry. I got to get the camera back. So that was called the multiplying billiard balls. Wait, Aiden. The story behind that is pretty interesting. I was all about, I didn't have, you can picture this. You know, I'm 12, 13, 14 years old. Junior high school, we called it, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. And you don't have a job. And if you do, you know, it's mowing lawns, or you got your allowance, or however you could make money. And then instead of spending money on, you know, the ice cream truck, or, you know, going by down the street, or bubble gum and baseball cards and whatever else you did with your money then, I would save up and then go down to the novelty shop, which is at Claremont Square in San Diego, where the theater was. And I'd go to the novelty shop, and they had a magic, you know, counter. And that's what the novelty shop was. It was magic, and also makeup and masks, the rubber masks. And I would buy these close-up and parlor magic, tricks and illusions and books. And I was just intrigued about it. And I'd go home and sit in my bedroom on one knee, bent over with my book on the ground, holding it open with my foot, with the coin and or the ball in my hand, and I'd be sitting there, practicing. And then you go from the book to the bathroom and you stand in front of the mirror. Your mirror is like the mirror of what the audience sees. So the mirror is a great audience, and you can hold your hands up in front of the mirror like I'm doing right now in front of the camera, and you can see whether or not you can see what the audience sees. And if you can see the secret, then you're not doing it properly, or you're not holding the angle properly, or you're not, so you're like practicing over and over and hours. I mean, I used to sit there in my bedroom. Like, Mom was she knew what I was doing, but what in the heck's he spending so much time in there for? Well, I got these little multiplying billiard balls. They were 3/4 of an inch in diameter. They were made of wood and painted red. And that's typically what color this parlor trick is done in, either red or white. White is like you progress up to white, and then the balls start even getting larger. And this is about the maximum that these things come in, because you can only fit, so much in between your fingertips. And they're made of really sticky rubber, so it actually makes it a lot easier, or at least thank God for sticky rubber, because you can hold 4 of them in between your fingertips without them slipping out. Well, these red wood 3/4 inch diameter balls were slippery and shiny and hard. They were little itty bitty things, but I mean, I got to the point where I could just, manipulate those things really proficiently. And I thought that was like the coolest thing. And then I realized, oh, they make 1 inch, and then they make 1 1/4 inch, and they make 1 1/2. I believe that's what these are. 1 1/2. This is actually the tube that they come in. It's called tournament manipulating balls. So it's actually I believe the largest, and they're very visible. White is very contrasting against black and blue in a dark background. So make sure you're doing it against a dark background, and they really stand out, really look nice. Yeah, so multiplying billiard balls. I mean, you can do a Google search, and I'm sure somebody is going to reveal, how it's done. But I'm not going to, and just kind of keep it like magic is supposed to be. I anymore, magic is so advanced now that I can't even follow. And I just start giggling like a little kid when I see what they can do today. It's just mind-boggling what they can do. And all I do is sit back and be entertained, because I don't have a clue. It's like it's so far above my pay grade. I have no idea what they're doing. It's so amazing, just fabulous, mesmerizing to watch these guys. It's crazy. The basic, I know some of it. When I start seeing some of it, I'm like, okay, I kind of see what they're doing. Yeah, I know how they did that. I'm familiar with the lingo and the names for the different moves, but most of the time today, oh my gosh, it's just, I just clap my hands like, yeah, that's good. So good. Sometimes I just am like, I've never done magic before in my life, and I'm just jaw dropping. What in the world? But wasn't that bizarre? Was that pretty good? You start off with 1, and then 2, and then make it disappear, and it's not there, and you reach in your pocket and you pull out another one, and so you still got 2, but all of a sudden 3, and then it goes to 4. You want to see it again? Oh my gosh. Yeah, 4 is definitely impressive. Let me just get out the whole. I'll set up 4 on my fingers and kind of walk you through what you're seeing. But that's 4. See, I'm pretty maxed out with my fingers, especially down here in my pinky. It's pretty stretched out. But isn't that pretty? Ugh. Isn't that weird though? I'm 62 years old and I learned this when I was 12. Actually, I learned this probably when I was more like 14. So what is that? That's 47 years ago. And I can still do this. And I still hold them in my drawer, my dresser drawer. When I was a kid, I was on vacation in Atlantic City, the boardwalk. A guy pulled the card out of my pocket that blew my mind. I don't know how. I know. Well, if I had a deck of cards, of all things not to have in the house, I don't have a deck of cards. A former magician without a deck of cards. What's wrong with that picture? Yeah, it's like we don't play. I just keep them. I keep them in this tube here. Um, we don't play cards, and so cards is like hard to come by. Coin magic. If I had a cigarette, I don't smoke, but cigarette magic is pretty cool. I can do some things. Same kind of sleights I'm doing with a coin and with a ball. You can do with a cigarette. I can smoke a cigarette with a big cherry and make it disappear, push it into my palm and make it disappear and produce it while it's still burning, and smoking. Opa will. Opa will. Sounds like a bird. How are you? Opa will. Do that ball one with your ear. What? Do the ball one with my. Oh, you mean make it disappear and produce it out of my ear? Oh, let's see. That's kind of hard to do. That's kind of hard to figure out how a ball could come from my ear, but you can just do the sleight. Just like I said, do you do a French drop? Oh, armpit is a little bit easier because it can hide the ball a little better under there. Then now see, I just fed you a line of crap by saying it fits underneath my armpit a little bit better, like under there, I can keep the ball under there. Bullshit. Yeah. Oh, and my ear, behind my ear? Is it there? Oh, there it is. See, I can kind of trap the ball back there without you seeing it. That's another BS story. Oh, let's see. Um, that's the French drop. Let's see. Off the back of your hand. It's a little bit different with the ball. But you're doing the same thing. Just kind of be quick, take it off the hand, you see? Pointing with my other finger, that's all about misdirection. Because when I point and if I drop my left hand down and raise my right hand, your eyeballs will follow. Your eyeballs will follow things that are moving, and especially if somebody's pointing with their finger where they have the ball in their hand the whole time. See? It's misdirection. But I got to keep my hand as if I'm holding a ball. How many times have I practiced holding a ball in my hand and looking at the shape of my hand and then take the ball out without moving the shape of my hand and studying it and say, okay, that's what my hand looks like with a ball in it. So if I take a ball, pretend like I take a ball, I have to maintain that shape of my hand. I can't be holding my hand like this because a ball doesn't fit in your hand like that. It looks like this. So I got to make sure my hand looks like that when I pretend to take it. See? Isn't that something? It's like all these little nuances. You take it and keep the hand in the shape of the ball where it's really in this hand, you see? But I'm pointing and I raise that hand up while I'm pointing and I drop my other hand down. So all the eyes go up to my hand. It's called misdirection. Do the ear one. You're really stuck on the ear one. Give that man a Q-tip. Okay, wait. Remember, if I took the ball. Wait. Oh. There it is. Oh, it's slowly. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. Yeah, you take the ball, put it in your mouth, swallow it, reach back at your arse, and pull it out. Oh my gulai. What in the world am I doing? uh, see? And what else have I what other chapter haven't I told you guys about? Oh my gosh. I did the ear one, Aiden. Except I got headphones on, so it's kind of hard to take it out of my ear. My arse. Everyone went Scottish on us for a minute. That's my grandfather. I was named after my grandfather from Scotland. His name was Edward Thompson. I'm Gary Edward. We called him Scotty, which is very common for those from Scotland to be called men from Scotland, Scotty. So we called him Scotty. But his name was Edward. And that's where I got my middle name. So I'm Gary Edward. Scotland. I think the Scottish brogue is just, I get nostalgic when I hear it. And I don't even know really anything about my own background, but I've got, it's on my bucket list to visit Scotland and see where my background came from, my last name and all that. Matthew, have you ever considered life insurance? I can offer competitive rates. Why does that sound like a commercial, Matt? But no, but thank you. You never even touched your ear. How'd you first get it there? Well, it was never there. I'm going to reveal to you, Aiden. Hey, you know what? I need a SUV or a Jeep with a trailer hitch on the back. I've got to retire I don't know, not yet. My Lexus SUV is starting to become a rattle cage, but 2008. Josh, Matt, I'm still mad because I didn't save money by switching my insurance to Geico. No, Marigo. So Aiden, pretend like I do the French drop. Now remember, French drop is not actually taking it, but it looks like I do. You see? It's here. It's in this hand. Okay? So when I make it disappear, I just reach up to my ear and pretend like I'm taking it out, where really I'm just pushing it out of my palm. By the way, this is called a palm. You know why? Because I'm using my palm to conceal it. You see? When I'm pointing, I'm actually palming the ball in my hand. See how it's stuck? Look, it's stuck. It's just, I'm squeezing my thumb and against the ball. So I point at my empty hand, I make it disappear, and then I just reach up with the ball in my hand to my ear, and it gives the illusion that I'm pulling it out of my ear or my arse. Yeah, Toyota for I'm a Toyota advocate. Absolutely. Well, not at the moment, Matt, but I am in the market to be buying a car actually for my son. He's going to get his first car here shortly, within this year, before next year, I think. And I'll end up making some low payments on it. But it looks like I'm Joe Biden. You're not the first to say that, but how dare you? No, I'm a little more stable than Joe, and about 10 years younger than Joe, if not more. How old is Joe Biden? He's almost 80, isn't he? He's 20 years older than I am. So that's the competition, or as they say, the tournament manipulating billiard ball. See you, Aiden. You're welcome. As you were, young man. I still got coffee. That's a good it's a good thought. Are the balls cut in half? That's a very common, probably the most common question people ask. Yeah, Trump is almost 80. I think Biden is already 80. Google it real quick. How old? Wait, Alexa, how old is President Trump? Donald J. Trump. 78. Alexa, how old is Joe Biden? 81. There you go. Yeah, so they're like 20 years older than I am. 16 to 19 years older than I am. That's a secret, Aiden. No, actually, I can answer you truthfully. No, they're not cut in half. How dare you? This is the Trump prophets on this channel. Harrison Biden, kiss me at Doc's R's. But that's a true answer. No, the balls are not cut in half. Oh, did anybody figure out the riddle? How do you get the dime out of the bottle without damaging the bottle or removing the cork? They are made of rubber. I told you that already. They're like super balls. I don't really care about the government, so have your own opinions, but have a good day. But Trump is not a good person. Maybe a good leader, but not. Well, you're not voting for the person. You're voting for the position. So that's a good point, Margo. And take that into consideration. You don't have to like the guy. Well, some people say you have to like him. Well, that's your downfall, I think. The guy could be a pretty unlikable person, but if he's got a resume and a skill set that is going to make me millions or change my country, I'm definitely looking at his resume a little bit more and looking at what he does and whether his actions match what he says. And we already know that he did exactly what he said he was going to do. Did he put his foot in his mouth a lot at the beginning? Yes, he did. Was he that likable of a person? Probably not. But besides that, he changed our nation and the world. He was changing the world. So I was pretty impressed, and I'm gonna vote for him again. All right, Aiden. Yeah. Don't let your emotions affect your voting at the booth. Yeah, even this many years later, I still think it's cool. And I'm really comfortable with them. And that makes it even easier. I know I'm kind of stuck in a routine. You can do a lot more than just what I did, and I was more giving a play by play on purpose just to make it a little more interesting. Usually, I remember back in the day, I would do that performance to a piece of music like, whoa, 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 it's magic, Heaven, even believe it's not so. It's magic, Josh remembers that song. Or I'd do the theme to the dun 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 ba 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 ba. That's SWAT. That's the theme song to SWAT, the show SWAT. That's the trumpets. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, card magic. Gosh, I need to get a deck of cards. Um, Not bragging, but I was taught some pretty cool uh, card routines that just blew my mind when I first saw them. And then when they teach, I was actually at the Magicians Club in San Diego. I paid like $10 at the door. And a group of us did, and we all went there to have a pro magician, as a teacher, and we would sit there and practice in front of each other, and um, came up with some pretty cool stuff. I can still do it to this day. Wow, I never followed her as far as feminine hygiene products. As a vice president, would she do commercials or what? There's not a whole lot of hygiene products for a man except toilet paper and underarm deodorant. It's like, really? Hygiene products for a man? What do? We wipe our butt and and put on underarm deodorant. That's pretty low key, low maintenance. Am I forgetting something? Oh yeah, the lotion my wife tells me I need to use more of on my hands and feet, but like what makes a man go? Uh Wipes and underarm deodorant. Oh, toothpaste. Yeah. Toothpaste and toothbrush. Hey, good. I hope that performance goes well, Josh. Yeah, dude wipes. Thank God for wipes over in Iraq and Afghanistan. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the shaving. That's right. Well, I use an electric razor, so yeah. Sorry, yeah, I forgot that. Good old uh, shaving cream and a razor or an electric razor. I live off both. Toothpaste, toothbrush. I use an electric toothbrush. They're the bomb. I wish I would have known about electric toothbrushes when I was growing up. Might have saved my mom and dad the dentist bill. And yeah, wipes. I learned that way later in life about wipes. Wipes everywhere. In my BDU pockets, every country I visited. Thank God for wipes. Wipes are a must if you're traveling. Keep them in your pocket. Keep them in your fishing tackle box. Keep them somewhere. Keep them in your car. Keep them everywhere. You can shower with them. You can wipe with them. You can all of the above with them. Yeah. Oh, speaking, gosh, you do straight razor? Now, I don't do that to myself. I've had others. Speaking of straight razors, the last and the best shave I've ever received was in Kathmandu, Nepal, before I went trekking. Before I left and before I flew home. And I paid, it's just crazy. I think he charged equivalent to a quarter. I'm serious. It was like a quarter US dollars for a shave, a haircut, and a head and shoulder massage. And I was like, I tipped them 3 times that much when they were done. I gave them up to $1, I think. I gave them 75-cent tip and it only cost me a quarter. And they're like looking at each other like, what's he doing? And I was like, they're like, oh, no, 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 it's only this much. And I went, no, take it. Just take it. It's okay. You can have it. That's when I realized, man, I said, do you know what somebody in Hollywood would pay for a shave, haircut, and a massage with a straight razor and a leather strap and a shoulder and head massage? Face massage too? Unbelievable. No, I know, Marigo. We know that. Um, that's why I was commenting on men's products. Like, we don't require a whole heck of a lot compared to women's. Oh my gosh, women's products are, you might as well spend a fortune. My daughter is a cosmetologist, and the amount of money that she charges her clients for eyebrow tattooing and waxing, I was I was flabbergasted when she told me the amount of money women in that uh, 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 yeah, in her part of town are willing to pay for those things. I was like, come on, Alicia. Her name's Alicia. Are you telling me a woman's willing to pay $500 to tattoo their eyebrows or $1,000 to have extensions put in their hair? I was like, what? Where in the, what kind of money? And then I realized, oh my gosh, that's why. She rakes in the bucks just doing a couple clients a day. Or to have your nails, your mani-pedi. That's actually pretty cool. I don't do it, but I've had it done and pretty. I had it done in the Philippines before I got married. Had my nails and my toes done, by some gay guy. Like, have at it, bro. You are a bro, aren't you? Oh wait, you are a bro. You know that, don't you? Oh no, I know exactly what you mean, Margot. I've been married too many years to a female. Yeah, okay, me and Doc can open up a tattoo and an extension shop. Unbelievable. I go down to Florida, of course, to see her and my grandkids, but at the same time, to let her spoil me. I mean, I just sit back and like, where you want lunch, Dad? Where you want to go for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to do? Bye, Margot. Yeah, hit the thumbs up if you didn't already, and subscribe if you want to. I'll be doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. What else you guys want to see? What kind of darn it? Where's a deck of cards? Are you kidding me? I don't have a deck of cards in the house. I don't. You know, I should go to Amazon and just order a couple decks. Gosh, I'm having problems with burping. Dysphagia. That's difficulty swallowing. I've been married 13 years. Sorry, past that aisle on the store. Well, you got daughters. Cards and shops for products. Kind of explains my banks get slow. Yeah. I remember when I was, it was one of those teenage, growing out of teenager age, 19, 20. And I was I might have even been 19 yet, but I was on a weekend outing with the family to this favorite mountain town in Southern California that my dad had uh, access to through his work. He worked for General Dynamics Electronics. And you could rent or reserve this A-frame, uh, like chalet, ski chalet, like um, uh, accommodations up in the mountains. And so we were there, and his guy friends from work were there, and family, wives, and kids, and all us kids, did our kid things. And during the winter, we would do the winter routine, and the summertime, the whole 9 yards, and then come back on Sunday or whatever. And one of the girls was younger than me, and she started her period or something while she was up there. And I remember the dad, his name was Dave, but I forget his last name. It's like approaches me. It's kind of like the older, responsible, older kid in the group, and handed me his keys and said, "Hey, can you go with my daughter down to the market? She needs some things, if you know what I mean." I'm like, yeah, sure. So that's like my first time, accompanying a good-looking daughter of his, and while she needed to go shopping from, you know, female necessities. Now, I don't know where that subject, I guess Margot is the one. I'll blame it on her. But that memory kind of popped into my memory. I was driving already, and the other kids weren't, and so it's like Mr. Dave approaches me. "Hey, Gary," hands me his keys. Brixley. Awesome. Be sure and vote if you're old enough. This, when is it, guys? November? Well, I was just telling my son, he was asking, he doesn't like to go to bed now while I'm doing live stream because apparently I'm too loud. And so he waits until I'm done so he doesn't have any echoing reverb through the wall. His bedroom is right behind me, and he says he can't. My voice is too loud. So, well, are you even old enough to vote? Vote? Sorry. Welcome back, by the way, Brixley. Oh, you're not old enough. And why wouldn't you be able to vote on your birthday? Just a matter of pass by it on the way to the store or whatever, and then stop and hopefully there's no line and cast your vote and get out of there within 10 minutes, less. When you become of voting age, that is. All right, Brixley. Good night. Be safe. RJ, are you still there? And RJ, I'm like struggling to remember. Imagine that. Whether you have been here before. Yeah, it's time for a big change, huh, Josh? Man, I was ready for it back in 2020. It was very like surprised and confusing as to how he didn't win. And then it was, well, shut off the TV after that fiasco. And I never listened to, seriously, to this day, I am clueless as to what Mr. Biden has done. It's like, I don't want to know. I really don't. It's just going to get me all upset. So I just shut him off. And I just look for President Trump, whether he's just talking. Well, I don't even need to look for him. The news is running with their mouth about him. But otherwise, I try to look for him doing some kind of speech somewhere. I subscribe to his channel and try to just find him so I can hear him speaking and his lips moving, not somebody else's lips moving for him. And Miss Girl, you're still there? Are you, let's see, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, almost. Are you live streaming, girl? Yeah, what other magic can I entertain the troops with? You saw my T-shirt. Were you here? Yeah, you saw it. You saw this T-shirt. That was my signature on that T-shirt. Remember? Pick a card, any card. This one. Hold on. Ah. What are you using, Josh? Are you on your phone or are you on a desktop or laptop? Now I all of a sudden got hungry again. I had, gosh, I thank God for my wife. I was out spending 3 hours or however long it took to mow the lawn and do the yard, and I hadn't eaten anything all day. So, but I was sucking down 2, 3 large flasks of lemonade, basically strawberry aid, and when I came back in, I was shaking. I mean, my body was like, I could feel myself, you know. And I thought, and I smelled garlic just fill the aroma, filling the air. And I thought, oh my gosh, what are you cooking? And she's like, try this. And I'm like, it's Korean bulgogi, you know, the bulgogi beef. And she made it, she had a Filipino pancit that she got from work leftover. And we put that Korean uh, beef over the pancit. Oh my gosh. I was like just drooling. I had 2 bowls. And it was, oops. Let's see here. I got to reset my settings here. Everything went kerplunk. Yeah, I'm good. I got audio. Volume, can turn that up a bit. Okay, I think I'm back. All my settings are. You know what? Here, off the subject, but just something else to talk about. I'm I've got a not only a security system with cameras and motion detectors and all that outside, and I'm using Hue Phillips to run all of my lights inside the house and outside the house. And, I've got too many things kind of going on at once, but, I got the Vivint security system, and the Hugh Phillips is kind of supposedly works with Vivint, and the Mrs. A over there, Alexa, I don't want to say her name, works in conjunction with Hugh Phillips. You can use your voice to activate all of it. Well, the app on my phone, first of all, the Hugh Phillips lights are all run by a what do you call that round pad over there, touchpad on the table? It's a whatever it's called, that is required to run these smart bulbs. Hub. It's a hub. Yeah, I got the hub over there on the table, and the smart bulbs inside and outside the house. Well, I'm constantly having little glitches with the app, and I've got lights set to come on at sundown and go off at sunrise. And one of those particular features is set, and I've checked it, rechecked it, and triple checked it 3 times, and it works when it's supposed to and how it's supposed to. But then today, when it got dark, I look outside and I realized, wait a minute, are my porch lights on? Like they're set to come on? And I look out there and they're not on. None of the lights are on outside. I got them set to night light, super dim. And, I got lights all around the house, porch lights, security lights, deck light, and these other lights I just installed, front and back. And for some reason, that automation that I have set for them to come on at sunset is not functioning. Like it was functioning yesterday, and now today it's not. So I had to turn them on manually. And I'm constantly kind of going through that, and I'm wondering, what do I have? What is it that I'm missing that makes it do this intermittently? So I got to get on the you do all solar lights, right? Yeah. Well, I considered all of the above, and because I have a security system, one thing leads to the other, and they are successful in their marketing, and I get sold on buying lights that are compatible with what I already have, so I don't have to purchase something else. So that's why I ended up with the route that I went. And they're all activated by sensors. So basically it's not solar lights, but it's by time. It's on a timer. So they come on, at certain times and go off at certain times. Joker or poker. Is it okay if my girlfriend moved to my house, but I said to her that I'm renting and now she pays me half of the rent? Sure. The rent part sounds great, but being a dad and knowing what I know now, is it okay if my girlfriend moved to my house? I'd say nope. Unless you plan to marry her, put a ring on her finger, then let her move into your house. Why not? Here's my advice, Joker Poker. I'm going to say it whether people like it or not. But here's my one of these, if I had only known then what I know now, But here's my advice. I don't know how old you are, Joker, but even it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how old you are, really. But the question is it okay if my girlfriend moved into your house? It's like, why? Why do you want your girlfriend in your house? And the obvious answer is, well, the obvious next comment is, well, I kind of know why you want your girlfriend to move into your house. Being a guy, also, and that type of relationship, those kind of emotions that you're going to share with each other, they're not meant to be exchanged between a boyfriend girlfriend. That's why girls get so hurt and so devastated is when a boyfriend starts sharing with them things that girls and guys do. We don't have to go into details. And then there's no commitment. And the guy ends up leaving or the girl ends up leaving and you guys have already shared intimate emotions with each other. That's the reason why you shouldn't. It's because those type of emotions shared with each other, they're not meant to be something casual and to be played with. There's a reason for those emotions, and they're for marriage, and there's a reason for it. And I understand now why girls are devastated and why they go through what they go through when it's okay to move in to your boyfriend's house. Uh-uh. Nope. Put a ring on her finger and then share those emotions with your wife. How's that? But as far as like if yeah, so that answers your rent question also. Yes, honey. Happy wife, happy life. But ain't that the truth? It's like no wonder girls are so hurt. I wasn't raised in that with that mentality. I was dating girls as soon as I could. And what in the world was I doing? I was a kid. We were kids dating other kids and doing things that kids shouldn't even be doing. Not even thinking about, well, not thinking about, but uh, physically doing with one another. Holy moly. What in the world was I thinking? It's like the accepted norm. Or as my brother said, isn't that normal, Gary? And now I realize, no, bro, it's not normal. Just because we were raised that way doesn't make it normal. There are kids, and I'm pointing over at my 19-year-old, that has been protected from that. I know. Absolutely. I mean, we could go into detail and we won't, you know? Like I said earlier, what do you think I was thinking when I was 19 going to visit the 16-year-old up in Auburn, California? Oh my gosh, why do you think her mother kept me out in the trailer? Heck. But it makes a whole lot of sense to me now. It's like, gosh, no wonder. because those intimate feelings weren't meant for dates. Imagine that. God knew what he was doing. Imagine that. Oh my God. Yeah, is what I was thinking. Wait, I got to zoom in on that. It's like, what is that? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I see what that picture is. It's a cat. CAT. That's why I said that's why I corrected myself when I said, teens shouldn't be thinking of, and I was like, wait a minute, wait. I have a 19-year-old. It's no, they thinking of it is definitely, oh, it is that time. Um, Kind of hard to not do, but to actually follow through with it, yeah, there's something you can do about that. Well, guys, you know what? It's 2 o'clock, and I told my son I'm going to get off when I normally do, 4 hours later. That's 2 in the morning. It's already past a couple minutes. So I am going to head out like an infant. Oh, that's right. Yeah, your daughter's boyfriend's like, hell no. Yeah, well, that's good. All right, Josh, as always, girl in the mirror, maraming salamat, joker poker. Stay away from the poker part and poke her part, and wait to put a ring on her finger before asking her. Then you won't have to. She won't have to pay half your rent. And Brixley, oh, Brixley left already. And anybody else that's hanging out, I'm out of here. Later, Josh. As you were, brother. Hasta la vista, baby. Have a good afternoon, girl. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See ya.